with spring nearly here, many of us are thinking about gardening. It's one of my absolute favorite pastimes, and whether it's growing our own fresh produce, my favorite, or creating beautiful landscapes with perennials, also a favorite. Today we're joined by expert gardener and American Horticulture Society spokesperson Matt is joining us to talk about how we can not only kind of improve our green thumb, but also take advantage of some great books that you guys just released. There's the Essential Guide to Organic Vegetable Gardening and the Essential Guide to Perennial Gardening, both which we have right here. But Matt, again, thank you for joining us. I know you're on the other side of the country this morning. You're in Boston, so good to see you. But first, tell us about these new books. What inspired the American Horticulture Society to create them?
Well, thanks, Melissa. You know, the American Horticultural Society goes back, it's an old organization. It goes back to 1922, and one of the most respected horticultural national, in North America too, horticultural organizations. So we have a history of publishing books. There's some of the serious gardeners' most favorite books, but also those beginners. So these are our two most recent books. One on vegetable gardening, which you said you love, but I think you probably love flowers too, right?
I do. I love working in the dirt, Matt. I'm preaching to the choir here when I say there's a sense, it's so cathartic and just healing, and I love it. And there's nothing better than a fresh tomato off a vine. I just have to say, it's like candy. Nature's candy is what I call it.
It's the best spa treatment. So what's great about these books is these are really comprehensive books. So if you're a beginner, these are perfect for you because they'll tell you where to put your garden, what kind of sun it should have. If you have a shade garden, maybe you're on a terrace. So sort of everyone who can do every type of different gardening, you will use these books. If you're a pro or if you're an expert or have some experience, there's still lots of tips in there. I just learned this week that I can take root cuttings from my perennials right now. So there's a lot. Every page has something different.
Oh, that's fantastic. Well, thank you for that tip. I did not know that as well. Okay, nice. And gardening, I do think, you know, having your own home garden, growing your own produce, there's even the countertop gardens now, which, I mean, I grow my own lettuce in the winter inside my home. But it's growing in popularity. But for those who are beginners, like you'd mentioned, these books are a really great resource. Give, though, maybe a couple of key things that beginners really should be keeping an eye out for when reading these books or just beginning this hobby.
Well, I think, especially where you are, you're in Utah, which is similar to New England.
We're in Idaho, but yes, we're near Utah. So yes,
you're in the
Rocky Mountains.
Rocky Mountain State, you know what kind of weather you have, but you're in the same zones where you could have 5 different zones that you're working with.
Yes.
Depending who you are, as you know, and hot, dry summers.
Exactly.
Right? And cold winters. So you have to timing is everything. It's really coming down and saying, do I start my tomato seeds too early? You know, do I count look at every seed packet and make sure you count those days out from your last frost. We're also eager to want to start things early, which is great, but you'll have better results if you just time everything right and have some patience. It's hard to have patience, but we all want to get growing.
Yes.
But I think a big tip for people is not, you know, garden centers sometimes sell things too early because, you know, they have tomato plants out when it's still having snow flurries, and you know, serious gardeners know this, so don't feel like you've missed the boat. There's always time to start something, but you're always a little later planting than too soon.
Okay, that's great advice. I sometimes feel like I get my stuff in the ground a little too late, just based on, you know, the frost and the snow on the mountains, but you make me feel better about my choices, Matt. Thank you. Okay, let's talk about those perennial gardens, though, those beautiful flowers that really add curb appeal to a home. Some you can actually cut and bring indoors. Let's talk about about perennials and how they have that kind of long-term benefit in someone's landscape.
Sure, perennials are a great buy because they get better with every year. And I'll throw biennials in there too because they're something that comes up like lupins or foxgloves, and they'll give you 2 or 3 years. Then they start to fade away and you replace them. And people know annuals. You know, annuals go for 1 season and then they die. But perennials, those are the ones that come back every year, like peonies and daylilies, and even bulbs like lilies and perennial plants that are long-lived that you can divide. They're a good bargain because often every 2 or 3 years you can separate them and you'll have 5 or 6 and share them with your friends.
Yeah, and then I want to talk about gardening for 2025 because sometimes You can get those magazines, right, that provide you some of those bulbs in advance or some of the special plants, and they have new hybrids. Are there things that, you know, gardeners should really kind of keep an eye out for 2025 that you might know about?
I think there are a lot of new plants coming down from the professional growers. They're getting so much better with how they propagate them. So you're always getting a perfect clone of a plant that's really trustworthy. Like a lot of the echinacea, a lot of the native plants now are being made available at nurseries. You know, there's a trend of planting meadows and matrix meadows. People are getting rid of their lawns and making their perennial borders deeper.
Yes,
You know,
yes.
just more. It's great for the pollinators. It's great for migrating birds. There's so many. We're planting more perennials now than we ever have.
Yes, absolutely. And I'm so glad you had mentioned that too, because I actually have some neighbors that completely redid their front yard to support pollinators. You know, anything, bees obviously, but also monarch butterflies. There's a big movement to help support those as well. And hummingbirds too, right? Very, very important when it comes to the functionality of our gardens, because they have to be pollinated somehow.
And it makes them entertaining.
It does. It truly does. To me, there's nothing better than watching a hummingbird buzz around your yard and hit all your flowers. It's
And don't forget edibles. You can put edibles in your perennial garden too, like kale. Red kale can be beautiful. Red cabbage can be beautiful. Red basil is beautiful in a perennial garden. So it could be even multi-useful.
Oh, I love that. That is such great advice, because the textures and the colors, like you're mentioning, really are gorgeous and balance out with some of those beautiful flowers. Matt, thank you so much. Let's tell everybody where they can go to get a copy of these 2 books.
Sure. These, of course, as they say, they're available everywhere books are sold. So online, in favorite bookstores, probably more than one online source. So I would just Google it. I'm sure you'll find plenty of them.
Wonderful. Matt, thank you so much. And thank you for the tip on, you know, clipping some roots off those perennials and spreading the love, if you will, in your yard. I love that.
There you go.
All right, Matt, have a fantastic gardening season. So grateful that you joined us today. And I hope you have a great rest of your day. And you know what, for everybody at home, you know we have these 2 books here in studio, so that means it's time to win with Idaho Today. You can actually win a copy of these books and get your green thumb growing for the spring. So here's how you enter to win. Visit ktvb.com/win or check out our social media pages. The giveaway ends March 19th at 9 a.m. It's for the organic vegetable gardening and perennial gardening. This is all from the American Horticultural Society. So the best of the best information for you to make sure that you're kicking off your spring right. And Idaho Today has more right after this break.